In this video we will discuss some very important topic of this chapter. The first topic is resolution of a vector or resolution of vectors. So here you can see that resolution of vector means it is the process by which we can divide one vector into two components of it. But remember that both the components should be perpendicular to each other, and that is why those two components are also called rectangular component. Okay, now how to resolve a vector or how to divide a vector into two components. Suppose in this figure this is vector A. Here I have drawn this one. This is vector A. This vector A, it is resolved or divided into two components. One is this side, that is the horizontal component. One is this side, that is the vertical component. And if you notice, this horizontal component and vertical component are perpendicular to each other. So always whenever we resolve or divide a vector into two parts, both the parts should be perpendicular to each other. So we also call it rectangular component. Now let us verify that whether the division is correct or not, or whether this vector, the vector that we have divided here, that is vector A, into two component, A cos theta, A sin theta, now whether this division is correct or not. Now see how I have written A cos theta here and how I have written A sin theta here. So for that you have to see the diagram. That means, as we know that non-localized vector can be shifted, right? So suppose if this is one component A cos theta, this is another component A sin theta, if I just shift this A sin theta or this component somewhere here, then it is actually making a triangle. Alright, so if it makes a triangle, in that case this is the base of the triangle, this one is the perpendicular or height of the triangle, and this is the hypotenuse of the triangle. Okay, now say if I write cos theta here, so cos theta means what? It is base by hypotenuse. So base means, suppose I am writing it by B, and hypotenuse in this triangle, the hypotenuse is A, right? So B by A, or this implies what is B then? B is equal to A cos theta then. So B is nothing but the base, so that means base B, it comes how much? A cos theta. So that is why here in base I have written A cos theta. But if you consider again the same triangle, this one only, then and for this triangle, if you write the expression for sin theta like cos theta, if you write the expression for sin theta, then what we will get? If I write sin theta, this is perpendicular by hypotenuse. So as I told you that this A sin theta, this vector I am shifting it here, so that is a perpendicular, suppose P vector. Okay, so sin theta means perpendicular by hypotenuse. So perpendicular is P, hypotenuse is A, right? So that means P is equal to how much? A sin theta. So that means P is equal to A sin theta, right? So P is nothing but the perpendicular, so that means the perpendicular is nothing but A sin theta. Okay, this is nothing but A sin theta. So that is how we have divided this vector A into two components. Always remember that if this is angle theta, then this is the base component or the horizontal component, which is always A cos theta, and the vertical component or perpendicular component is always A sin theta. Now again we can verify it in other way also. Suppose in other word, if I say that A cos theta plus A sin theta gives us the complete vector, in this way also we can think, like, okay, we can think it in this way, right? That this A sin theta, as I told you, I can shift it here. So if A sin theta is shifted here, as it is forming a triangle, so in this triangle, according to the triangle law, if this is one vector which is A cos theta, if this is another vector which is A sin theta, then the resultant should be how much? how we give the resultant? We have the formula. What is that? That is, in last derivation we got this one, r square is equal to, what is that, p square plus q square plus 2pq, then where was that, it was cos of theta. Okay, this formula we got. So in this particular case, if this is a triangle, then which one is p here? Suppose a cos theta is p and a sin theta means the perpendicular component is q. And what is the angle between p and q? From the figure it is clear. What is the angle between a sin theta and a cos theta? It is 90 degree. So if it is 90 degree, in place of this cos theta we should substitute cos 90, and cos 90 means 0. So the third term automatically becomes 0. So what is r now? So r should be what? R square is p square plus q square, then r should be square root of p square plus q square. So that's what I have written here. R is equal to square root of p square. So p means I considered as a cos theta, so it will be a square cos square theta plus q square. Q is which vector? A sin theta. So q square means a square sin square theta, and the third term becomes 0. Just now I told. So from here we can see, if from these two terms if you take a square common, what we will get? Sin square plus sin square theta plus cos square theta, which is 1. So under root, how much we are getting? A square. So if you remove the root and square, it becomes a. So that means what is the resultant of a cos theta and a sin theta? Finally we are getting the main vector. Okay, so this is just a reverse process, means we have splitted up this a into two part, a cos theta and a sin theta, and when we are joining again a cos theta a sin theta, we are getting the same vector, which is a. So in this way we can divide a particular vector into two rectangular components. Okay, so this is very important part of vector, and while discussing the next topics also this thing will be required. So now we will move to the next topic, which is very conceptual topic. Actually you have to think it to strong your, or to make your concept strong. That is relative velocity. Okay, so for relative velocity I'll give you few examples. Suppose in linear case means you think like a train is there, and the train is moving with a speed of 60 km per hour, suppose. So this speed of the train, that is with respect to a person who is standing at the platform, suppose. So for that person the speed of the train is 60 km per hour. But for a person who is sitting inside the train, what is the velocity of the train? For that person who is sitting inside, the velocity of the train is 0 for the person, because the person himself is also moving with the same speed, which is 60 km per hour. So for the person the speed of the train is 0. So can we say that the speed of this particular train can vary according to the position of the observer? So this is called the relative velocity. Relative velocity means it is the velocity of an object with respect to the motion, or with respect to the velocity of an observer. If the observer is at rest, then I said that the velocity of the train is 60. Now suppose if a train is moving, okay, the train is moving, suppose this is a train, this one is a train, and this train is moving in this direction with a velocity of, again suppose 60 km per hour. Now just beside it, somewhere here, a car is also moving. There is a car, and this car is also moving in this direction with a speed of 20 km per hour. So now for the person who is sitting inside the car, what is the speed of the train? If the person is at rest, suppose if the car is not moving and the car is at rest, then for the person who is sitting inside the car, the speed of the train is 60, but the car is also moving with some speed which is 20. So if you think nicely, you will clearly, it will be you will understand that the speed of the train will be 40 this time, because the velocity or the speed of the car itself is 20. So how did we get that? We are subtracting it. What we are doing? 60 minus 20. And when, in which case we are subtracting? When both the bodies are moving in the same direction. Okay, so this is a kind of motion in one dimensional case. Okay, we are considering the direction which is confined only along x-axis. We are not considering any other thing. But in this chapter, since we are going to discuss relative velocity for two-dimensional case, the thing will be little different, but main concept comes from here only. So in other words, relative velocity, it varies from with respect to the position or with respect to the velocity of the viewer, whether the viewer is at rest or whether the viewer is in motion. Depending on that only relative velocity can be determined. Alright, now suppose one more thing I would like to say here. Suppose instead of this case, suppose if the train is here and if the train is moving in this direction with 60 again, and the car, it is not moving in this direction but it is moving in this direction with 20, then what will be the relative velocity of the train with respect to the car? In that case it will be added. Okay, this because as they are going apart, the distance is increasing, the distances keep on increasing, and as a result the speed will also increase. So how to increase it? We have to add it. So 60 plus 20 it will be. But in the previous case, when they were moving in the same direction, we have to subtract 60 minus 20, like that. Okay, now one more thing I would like to say here. This concept will also be used in while solving different sums. Suppose if you are standing if you are sitting inside a train, suppose, and just near to that train another train is standing in another track. Okay, now when you are moving inside the train, you will think or you will feel like, so what I said, that you are sitting inside a train and the train is moving, suppose, but another train which is standing just in another track, sometimes we get confused that which train is moving, the train where we are sitting, that train is moving, or the next, that other train is moving, right? Why this situation happens? Suppose you are sitting inside this train, okay, this train, and the train is moving in this direction with a speed of 60 again. Okay, now there is another train and this train is not at all moving, it is standing in on another track. But since you are moving, it seems like this train T1 is also moving, but it is in backward direction. It feels like. The reason is that because you are moving. So in other words, can we think it in this way, that when you are taking yourself at rest, that means though you are sitting inside a moving train, it seems like you are at rest, then actually you are giving the 60 kilometer speed to the next train but in opposite direction. That is why you are seeing that this train is moving in opposite direction. What I want to say here is that whatever velocity you have when you are sitting inside a train, this velocity, when you look through the window and when you see that the other train is at rest, but actually when you starts moving, you feel like this train is moving in backward direction with how much speed? With the same speed that you have, or with the same speed that this train is having. How much speed the train is having? 60. So you can assume it in this way, that as if you have given this 60 kilometer speed to this train, but this 60 kilometer is in the backward direction, is in the negative direction, because you are moving forward and it seems like this train is moving backward. With how much speed? With the same speed, though the train is not moving, but since you have considered yourself to be static or yourself to be at rest, that is why it feels like that train is moving with negative 60 kilometer per hour velocity. This concept also you remember, so that we can use it while solving sums related to this relative motion. Okay, so this thing whatever I have discussed so far, that is the relative velocity, but only in one dimensional case, that means in straight line motion. But now here we will solve some sums where it is related to relative velocity in two dimensional case. So the first sum is like this. Okay, before we go for this sum, another thing I would like to say about this figure diagram. Suppose there is a river and this river, it is flowing, it is not static. This is flowing from this side to this side with a speed of vr. This is the velocity of the river. Okay, and since it is a vector, you can put one arrow sign here just above vr. Now suppose if a person is swimming inside it and the person is actually swimming in this direction. Okay, here I have drawn it with vp. So vp, it is also a vector, you can put one vector sign over it. Okay, so this is the velocity of the person. Now since the person is moving, okay, I'm just drawing it here, since the person is going this side, since the river is flowing this side, actually the person will reach somewhere here. Okay, so that means this will be the resultant speed of the person. The reason is that one velocity, velocity of the person, velocity of the river, two velocities are actually combining to give us another velocity, which will be the velocity of the person, of the swimmer, with respect to a person who is standing somewhere here. Somewhere here means outside the water. That means what I want to say, that if a person is standing outside the water, though the person who is swimming, he is swimming in this direction, but the person who is standing outside, for the person will clearly see that this person is actually going in this direction. What is the reason? Because of the speed of the water. I think it is clear. One person is swimming this side, but the river is flowing this side, so together this velocity plus this velocity will give us a resultant velocity, which will be somewhere here. And the person who is standing outside the water, for that person, the person will clearly see that the swimmer is actually going this way, though the swimmer is trying to move in this way, but the actual position of the swimmer will be somewhere here. Okay, so this is also an example of relative velocity. And why it is a kind of, it is a case of relative velocity? Because see, for the person who is actually swimming, the person thinks like I am going this side, but the person who is standing outside the water, for the person, the swimmer is actually going this side. So that means what? That is a relative velocity, because the velocity of this person, that means the swimmer, is not constant. It changes with respect to the observer. If the observer is somewhere in water itself, then for the observer it seems like the person is also going this side only, the swimmer is going this way only. But if the person is outside the water, for the person will see that the swimmer is going this side. I hope it is clear. So this concept we will use in the next sum. Okay. So in physics we know that concept is the main thing. You have to focus in concept. Okay, so let's see this sum. A man can swim in still water at a speed of 3 km per hour. He wants to cross a river that flows at 2 km per hour and reach the point directly opposite to his starting point. In which direction should he try to swim? Then next one, another question is there. How much time will he take to cross the river? Okay, so here is the case. Here I have drawn a diagram, this one. The case is like this, that the person or the swimmer, this one vp, velocity of the person or swimmer, which is given 3 km per hour. That means the swimmer wants to reach exactly at the opposite point of the river, means from A to C. From A to C the swimmer wants to reach. So the swimmer is he is clever, I think. So that is why what he did, he tried to swim in this direction, so that the speed of the river automatically will make him reach at point C. I hope it is clear. Just like the previous example that I gave, the swimmer is clever enough and the swimmer tries to reach to point C directly. So what he is doing, he is not going directly or he is not swimming directly towards C. If he directly swims towards C, then he will never reach at C. But where will he reach then? If the person is directly swimming towards C, the person will reach somewhere here because of the river flow. Okay, so that is why the person decided to swim in this direction, making some angle with the vertical. How much angle the person has made here? As in the diagram I have drawn, the angle made by the swimmer with the direction of or with the vertical direction is theta. So in the first question, what we are supposed to calculate? We are supposed to calculate in number 1, in which direction should he try to swim. So in which direction? Direction is always given by theta, means angle. Okay, so first of all, in this question we have to find out what is this angle theta, with how much angle the person is actually swimming. This is one question. Other question, number 2, how much time will he take to cross the river if the river width is 500 meter? The width of the river is 500 meter, and how much time will he take to cross the river? That one we have to find out. So let us solve the first question first. That means theta we have to find out. So from the geometry of the figure, it is clear that okay one more thing I have to say here only. Suppose this thing, this case, this triangle, I have drawn this triangle somewhere here. Okay, and here I have used the concept of resolution of vectors. Suppose this is vector p, I have just drawn it here, vector p, just to show you how to resolve it. Okay, so this vector p, just now I told you in resolution of vector that we can resolve a vector into two components, and both the components will be perpendicular to each other. What are those components? One is cos theta component, one is sin theta. So if this is Vp and this is the angle, so towards base, so if this is the angle, this will be base, right? So towards base the component is always cos theta, so this will be Vp cos theta, and towards perpendicular this is Vp sin theta. Okay, so that means if this component is Vp cos theta, if this component is Vp cos theta, then you see from this figure, this Vp cos theta is the component which is nothing but V dash that I have mentioned here. Okay, this one, this component V dash, and here it is how much? Vp cos theta. Or in other words, we can think like Vp cos theta is the component of velocity which will take the person at point C from A to C, but Vp sin theta is the component which is actually making the person, or which is actually taking the person in horizontal direction, not in vertical direction. In vertical direction, which component of velocity is taking? Vp cos theta. Then where is Vp sin theta? Why the person is not going towards in horizontal way? The person ultimately, where the person is reaching? The person is reaching in at point C. So which component is you can say dominant here? Which one? Obviously Vp cos theta. Then where is Vp sin theta? Where did it go? So let us see what happened to Vp sin theta. So this one you can see here. This Vp sin theta component is towards left, and the speed of river is towards right. So this component of velocity and this component of velocity are cancelling each other. I think it is clear. So that is why the effective component of velocity in horizontal direction is 0. That is why the person is ultimately reaching at point C, because which component is effective here? Vp cos theta is effective. Vp sin theta is not effective, because this is cancelled by the speed of the river. Vp sin theta was towards right, towards left, speed of the river was towards right. So this velocity and this velocity are cancelling each other, and if it is cancelling, this is the concept. Okay, so think it nicely. If it is cancelling, then certainly both should be of equal magnitude. If Vr means the speed of the river, which is 2, if it is cancelling Vp sin theta, that means Vp sin theta is equal to 2. Their direction is opposite, so that is why they are cancelling each other. So from that, directly I have written here Vp sin theta is 2. I think it is clear now. So from this Vp, what is the velocity of Vp? What is the value of Vp? It is 3. So in place of Vp I have written 3. 3 sin theta is equal to 2. So from here sin theta is equal to 2 by 3, or theta is equals to sin inverse 2 by 3. So in the first part of the question we are supposed to calculate the value of theta, which comes as sin inverse 2 by 3. So this is not a standard value, of course, so we have to keep it like this only. So here you have to write that this is the person, that is the person must have or must move making an angle of sine inverse 2 by 3 with vertical. So that is the conclusion for the first part, that with how much angle the person should swim. The person should swim with this much angle. Okay, then let us see the next part. So in next part, that is a simple one. In next part, you see, this is the distance that a person has to cover, the person has to travel, and which velocity will make the person move in vertical direction, which component of velocity. Certainly Vp cos theta, this component of velocity. So here we have the formula, s is equals to Vt, distance equals to velocity into time, or from this, time is equal to distance by velocity. How much is the distance here? 500. And which component of velocity? Vp cos theta, or Vp cos theta is nothing but V dash, so whatever you write, Vp cos theta or V dash. Anyways, 500 meter, as the velocities are expressed in kilometer per hour, the distance has to be converted into kilometer, so I have converted it to 0.5 kilometer. Vp cos theta, now see Vp cos theta, how I got this value, which is nothing but V dash, as I told you. So from this triangle, this is the hypotenuse of the triangle Vp, this is the one side of the triangle, that is Vr, and another side is what? V dash. So if you use the Pythagoras theorem, Vp square, this one, no? Vp square, that should be equal to how much? Vr square plus V dash square. So from this V dash square, it should be equal to how much? Vp square minus Vr square, or V dash will be equal to how much? Root over Vp square minus Vr square. So that's what I have written here. Here root over Vp square minus Vr square is equal to V dash from Pythagoras theorem. Okay, now Vp is 3, so 3 square minus 2 square, it gives us root over 5, and 0.5 means actually it is half, so we get here 1 by 2 root 5 hour. Time will be in hour, because here this speed is given in kilometer per hour and the distance we had converted to kilometer. So what unit will remain here? Hour. Okay, so this is the time. This much hour will be taken by the swimmer to directly reach to point C, or to directly reach to the opposite side of the river. Okay, so here we used the concept of resolution of vector, and we also used the concept of relative velocity. Then another sum, this kind of sum will also be solved using the concept of relative velocity. If you remember, just now I told you one thing, that about the train, right? That means when you are sitting inside a moving train, and when just near to that another train is standing, it seems like that train is moving in opposite direction with the same velocity. So in other words, whatever velocity that the train is having where we are sitting, that velocity we are providing to the next train, but that much velocity should be negative, right? So that concept we are going to use here to solve this sum. Okay, here it is given that rain is falling in vertically downward direction with a speed of 40 km per hour. Fine. A person is moving horizontally with a speed of 30 km per hour. Very good. Find the angle at which the person has to hold his umbrella to protect himself from rain. Also find the net velocity of rain with respect to the person. Alright, so here mainly we have two velocity. So where there is a combination of two velocity, we are it is obvious that we will get a result in velocity. What are that two velocities here? One is the velocity of the rain. Rain is falling, it is falling in vertically downward direction with how much speed? 40 km per hour. Okay, so the speed is 40. Fine. Now the person is moving horizontally. So if the person is moving horizontally with a speed, suppose the person is moving this direction with a speed of 30. Okay, then we can assume that the rain is moving with respect to the person in opposite direction with the same speed, which is 30. Because if the person is, suppose, standing here, if the person is not at all moving, if the person somewhere here, suppose the person is standing, so for this person the speed of, there will be no speed of rain in horizontal direction. For the person it will just like rain is falling in vertically direction this side with the speed of 40, but when the person starts moving in horizontal direction, it is actually providing some horizontal velocity to rain also. How much velocity that person is providing to rain? Just the case of the train I told, that if the person is having a velocity 30, then the person is actually providing rain also the same velocity but in opposite direction. So here rain is having actually two velocity. One is vertically downward, that is 40, this velocity, and the other one is this backward velocity, which is 30. So here I have drawn the diagram. This one, this is 40, this is the actual velocity of the rain, which is 40, and since the person is moving this side, the person is actually providing an opposite velocity to rain, which is in opposite side, and the velocity will be how much? 30. So here actually we have two velocity, right? One is, I'm just drawing this part here, okay, this one VR, this one VP. So these two are two vector. What will be the resultant? You think that parallelogram law of vector addition, one vector one side of a parallelogram, second vector second side of the parallelogram, resultant is the diagonal somewhere here. So this is the direction of velocity of what? Of rain. So that means the person has to hold the umbrella in this direction. In this direction means this much angle, at this much angle, like this, in this way the person has to hold the umbrella at how much angle? At angle theta. Now we have to find out what is theta. So this velocity is how much? 40, no? Velocity of rain. This velocity is how much? 30. Okay, so if you just shift this vector somewhere here suppose, then it is making the triangle, and if it is a triangle, tan theta equals to perpendicular by base, right? So if this is theta, tan theta, perpendicular means how much? This vector 30. So here I have written tan theta equals to perpendicular by base. So 30 by 40 means 3 by 4. So theta is equal to tan inverse of 3 by 4, which is the angle. So I have just concluded here, that is the umbrella should be, you can mention here that the umbrella should be, okay, the umbrella should be at an angle of tan inverse of 3 by 4 with vertical. This one you have to conclude. Second part of the question is that also find the net velocity of the rain with respect to the person. So which one is the net velocity? This one, V dash. Okay, so if you want to find out the net velocity, what can we do? Parallelogram law of vector addition you can use. V dash is equal to what? If you use the parallelogram law, you have the, okay, here I have solved it, this one. So how we have used the parallelogram law of vector addition? If you remember, the law was like this, R is equal to what? Root over P square plus Q square. Then the third term is plus 2pq cos of theta. Cos theta means here what? It is the angle between P and Q. So P and Q means here one vector. If this is P, this is Q, this is the resultant, which is R. Suppose this is R. P means which one? The velocity of rain. This one is P. So velocity of rain, how much was that? 40. Okay, then this is what? Velocity of the person, how much was that? 30. Okay, so velocity of rain 40 square plus 30 square, 40 square plus 30 square. What is the angle between them? This angle is 90 degrees. So the third term means here plus 2pq cos theta. Cos theta means that theta is 90 degree here. So 90 means cos 90 means 0. So the third term is automatically becoming 0. So what we have ultimately we have root over P square plus Q square, or in this particular case it will be root over VR square plus VP square. Okay, so that's what I have done here. Root over I have taken later on. First just I have done it like this. Okay, this square VP square plus VR square, here I have kept it V dash square, but the square root I will take afterwards. So VP square is 30 square, 40 square, if you add up it comes as 2500. So V dash is root over 2500 means 50 meter per second. So that means when the person is suppose not moving, simply standing, rain appears to fall down with how much speed? With 40. But as the person starts moving in horizontal direction, rain appears to fall in how much, with how much speed? 50. That means the person is getting the velocity of the rain with respect to the person is becoming more in this case. This is practically also you may have experienced it in some cases when like we ride a scooty or like cycle. In that case, the speed of rain or the rain strikes our face with more velocity. Okay, though the normal velocity is 40, but since we are moving with 30, the rain appears to hit us with how much speed? 50 meter per second. So this is the resultant speed of rain. Okay, then from relative velocity, these two types of sums are very important. Then next topic that we are going to discuss is projectile. I will not discuss much about it in this video. I will make another video for this, but I will just tell you few things about it. See, generally projectile motion, it is generally it is of two types. Projectile means it is a motion in two dimension, okay, or motion in a plane. Suppose one is horizontal projectile, one is called oblique projectile. So in horizontal projectile, suppose there is a tower or building. On the top of the roof of the building, suppose a person is standing and the person is throwing something in horizontal direction. So after going some distance, the object will fall like this. So this is a kind of projectile motion. Okay, what type of projectile motion is this? It is horizontal. But suppose instead of moving or instead of standing on a tower, if the person throws an object from the ground itself, then the trajectory of the object will be like this. It goes this way, it reaches a maximum height, and then it comes down. This is also kind of projectile. We call it oblique projectile, and in this chapter we will focus in oblique projectile motion. Another thing I would like to say here, I would like to mention that when the speed of the projectile is u, suppose, which is oblique, oblique means it makes some angle, some acute angle with the horizontal direction. How much is that? Theta. So if this is the actual velocity u, if you want to resolve this actual velocity u into two components, just like resolution of vector, since this angle is theta, this side the component of velocity will be v cos theta, and this side, sorry, u cos theta, and this side the component of velocity will be u sin theta. Okay, so in oblique projectile motion we are generally discussing this only. We have two velocity, u cos theta and u sin theta. Then the next question that we will discuss is, show that the path followed by a projectile is parabolic. Parabolic, right? This path is also like a parabola. This path is also like a parabola. But though we are observing it that it is a parabola, but in physics we have to prove it. So to prove that, we have to do the solution for this question. That one we will discuss in next video. Thank you.